Hey, good evening, everyone out there in Unlock the Middle Land. Chris Starcheski, principal at Dudley Middle School, alongside my great friend and colleague, co-host, co-creator, Dean Packard, and co-host below me, Josh Tovar. We've got a great guest tonight in Jamie Brown. We're going to be coming at you live for the next 40 or so minutes, talking relevant topics in education. As you know, Unlock the Middle was created to provide a platform for connectivity and betterment. And we are going to get better tonight. Dean, how are you, my friend?
Chris, happy Sunday. Josh, Jamie, happy Sunday to all of you guys. Thank you so much for being here. What another beautiful day in New England. A little bit of humidity, not so bad, but a real crisp, sunny day. Great day to get outside and get some things done. Hey, we're in drought weather here. We haven't had rain in so probably well over a month and a half. The lawn is screaming right now for a little bit of water. I can't. I'm emptying my well on this thing, trying to get it green again. But I know up here in New England, pretty soon it'll be green anyway because the cooler nights are coming, and I know that rain is going to be coming. Hey, again, my name is Dean Packard. I'm the principal of Charlton Middle School in Charlton, Massachusetts, and really excited to be here tonight with Jamie and Josh and Chris, and we're going to have some fun. Josh, kick it down to you, brother. What's going on?
Hey, everybody. Josh Tobar, proud principal of Memorial Pathway Academy in Garland ISD, Garland, USA. Enjoying my Sunday for back-to-back. What? Back-to-back. Unlock the Middle episodes tonight. Spreading the knowledge because we're part of the Fantastic Four. And that's all we do is provide free PD. There's no excuses. What's your excuse? Just get on social media and you know what? Your tool chest will grow. Free PD, starting off with Coach Sean Hurt on Saturday, then Shika, then Principal Cafeli, who will be on the show down a couple of weeks. And you know what? Fantastic Four, that's what it's all about because we're all in it together. Whether you be Alaska or Hawaii, whether it be Maine or Florida or anywhere in the 48, we're stronger together because we were learning from each other. And we cannot do anything better than have a great person to interview tonight. Mr. Jamie, welcome to Unlock the Middle.
Man, let me start by saying first, but most importantly, this show is fire to me. I've watched this, heard about it, and started checking it out just live, especially even on a Sunday night. So the table, and I feel blessed to be on it. And when I got Cafele's name, I'm a Jersey boy, so he was yours, who I looked up to, man. So you guys are bringing, like you said, free PD to the people, and for sure. But thank you guys for having me. Looking forward to tonight for sure.
Hey, Jamie, not a problem. Great to have you. Hey, I just want to start off. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your rise to fame here? I know you're an assistant principal at this point in time, and some of the things you've done. You've got a deep pedigree, and I call you one of those rock stars. And you're just a rock star in the making. So I love what you're doing. So why don't you give the audience a little bit of background?
And I like the analogy with rock star because I'm a professional. I've been in the education space. Seen it all. I feel like started out as an English teacher, creative writing teacher back in 9/11, right outside New York City, right, Old Bridge Township Public Schools. Got a shot that blessed to have met so many great educational leaders. In particular, worked my way up into becoming peer leadership coordinator for moved into administration as 6 months before the pandemic flipped upside down. But and I just made the move last year with my family to come down the low country south, back at it. I was a district admin last year, mentor teachers, new teachers to the field from other states, other districts, even internationally. The building after a hiatus, I just got a Bluffton High School, Beaufort County School District. These guys are the cream of the crop. There on fire, on not only academia but socialization. So I am so hyped to be a part of it. Getting to meet them for the first time. I'm out of a building for over a year now, so I can't no sleep tonight for sure. Waiting for tomorrow.
Chris, why don't you jump right in?
Awesome. Hey, Jamie, thanks. You know, You are an absolute rock star in the making. You're probably already on stage, like Dean introduced you as that rock star. Let's talk a little bit about the concept of building the whole teacher in order to build the whole child. We've always heard ever since I started in education, we got to address the whole child, the whole child, the whole child. How do we cultivate that teacher to ensure that they've got the skill and capacity to address that whole child?
Sure. I appreciate you starting with that. So all we've ever heard and all we ever, in print, at PDs, it's all about the students. It's all about developing the whole child. But I got to be honest, in the especially as a district peer leadership coordinator, which is a position a lot of schools don't have in their high school or district. They'll have student council TC. So working with students, I gotta be leader and say that my students kind of brought that to the table in terms of, they felt that they in our program, a lot of personal level with a lot of their teachers, and the pandemic, seeing that has become the buzzword of American education space. I always say that the pandemic did not know health. Yes, it may have for some, but when we think that the pandemic put a big magnifying on mental health finally, and I feel like we're conversations first, which is being and social emotional care that even up until now, I feel like it's always about the children only. Especially in the last year, as a mentor to administrators, that we're asking them to do need as well. Get my personal mission, with contact with in the districts that I work for, in this case, county, to support teachers, say, develop the whole child, go into a classroom and just here's a textbook, quick do now or something. It never lasts time. It becomes so sporadic where it has no, and I think if we really wild, we have to learn how to, for those that we're asking to develop the whole child, which can be classroom teachers, but I think APs, principals, guidance counselors, education department, our support staff, the librarians, the nurses, the cafeteria people, everybody now plays a vitalizing that when we say community in a building. I love, again, these silver linings from the pandemic is that now everybody's seeing the importance and celebrating everybody's role in and out of the building. Ultimately, we are going to support develop the whole. We have to model that for the adults, for them, and I think they have become so appreciative, and us just asking simple questions of the is, what can I do for you? What do you need from little things like how are you? It's nothing back to the basics, and being kind, it's making a big impact in the school that I'm in 2 weeks. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
It's a little bit of a delay. Yes.
You can hear me now? I just want to make sure. So, that's probably, but I just think if we don't, there's absolutely no way our students and our student body, and I think, I call it remixing the soundtrack. Just kind of flipping the script, disrupting the norm and order. And I think that's, I don't want to say like utilizing SEL or seeing a need when we're trying to get started for school districts. That would be my biggest piece of it. Then you'll be like, and embrace and probably appreciate in the school.
Hey, Jamie, you're dropping in some knowledge here, and I understood most of it in regards to the whole child from every team member inside of the schoolhouse. But can you do me a favor? I don't want to lose any more what you're bringing to the table, especially somebody new in education. Can you readjust your earbuds because you're going in and out? Can you just check it real quick? Because I know we lost a lot of the little things. When you had both of them in, and I know this might take up some time, but I think we're losing a lot of content with the delay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, a little better. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Actually,
okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me
better.
know. So I could take them out.
Yeah, there's still some delay on it, but
That
let's keep on going forward in regards to this. So right now we talked about the community within the building, within the body of the campus, making sure that we have the whole child. What about the community? What about our the shops outside, the Domino's Pizza guy, the barber next door, the parents? Obviously, common sense will tell us our parents. What about making sure that we have that inclusive mentality to bring the whole community aspect?
The school's job in a community, you know. So I think from as if we can build up the whole embrace and to build, you know, not only among their colleagues, but again, we model that as administrators to them. They do, in order to answer that, we bring the community, and that's the third piece of community. I think where I've truly seen it work, that for our student leaders and teach them that skill to go out to the community and bring a fundraiser, not just when we have the annual, you know, homecoming games and things of that nature. The community feels like they're not, they have children inside within the district itself. So what I've always done is take my in the building, especially when we're in the weekly, to a local reason why.
Hey, Jamie.
Building.
Hey, Jamie.
Nothing.
No, it's not improving, brother. And and I think it's crucial that message of community connecting with the community. Is there any way you just could drop them and then just have it like me? I'm not using anything, and I'm hearing it right here.
Yeah, give it a try. Take it off of Bluetooth. There you go. Try it now. A little bit of a delay still. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Do this for us. Log off, log back on. Chris, myself, and Josh will talk for a minute. We'll pull you back in. We'll continue right when you come back in. Sometimes that'll do the trick for you. There we go. Hey, I mean, he's got good stuff there. Social emotional learning, you know, connecting the community with the learning, all that stuff is really important. And I love the fact that we can actually buzz out, buzz back in, and see what's going to happen here. Here he comes. Try it now.
Can you hear me now? Are we any better?
No.
It's like a Charlie Chaplin movie.
Dean is a nice guy. My OCD says no, it's not. Dean is a nice guy here. No, you're chopping up a lot.
I don't know why. Let me try my phone.
Right there.
Oh, right there.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, we had good audio.
We're good now?
Yep.
I think so.
Better. Absolutely.
So
that's much better.
Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what's going on, but
no pressure, man.
Don't worry about it.
When we're talking about partnering with the community, to me, it's the three-prong approach, and that's the last piece of outside the building until inside is working the way it needs to, and everybody's partnering. So if we model from the top top-down leadership to get the leaders in the building, the educators in the building, and feeling like they're supported, they're seen, they're heard, they're celebrated. We model that. We do it for not just the adults going out into the community, because I feel like sometimes it doesn't last big of an impact if we bring the student leaders too. So I always felt, and I during the pandemic, where each week we just went out to a community, local food establishments, because those are the ones you always seem to use throughout the year if you build. So just as an example, we had 3 pizza parlors in our town. So each week we gave them a swag bag with our gear, with all of our labels all over. We wanted them to be, we didn't ask them for anything. We just went and said, hey, you're a part of our community. We are working for you guys. They love coming in here, hanging out on the weekends. We just want to give you some appreciate your business and how hard you're working. And again, during that time to just show them some love when they were struggling, we went a step further. We went live book and just shouted out, hey, come check out Crispy Pizza right on 516. These guys want to shout them out. Here's the manager, Tony. Come on in. Mention us and whatever the case may be. But look them up. We would tag them on social, and then maybe a month later, because in my head I said, all right, I know we got an event where we want to use again that first time. We're not going to ask them for anything other than to come in to be a piece. 9 times out of 10, they would give us something and say, yeah, we usually charge $10. We'll give you, whatever. Awesome. Next time we go to the other pizza parlor, something happens, and little by little you build this trickle effect, and then you start working on people who make for everybody in the community. Then everybody wants, put your name on the back of my shirt, give me 100 free shirts. It becomes a business, but that's not the intent. That just is the gravy on. But in the beginning, if it's authentic and it's intentional, but in my opinion, because you have to teach that real world application skill that are going to the next level, A, to see it from a business standpoint, A, to see it from, but to get them to understand that you don't just reach out to your community and I think that's an important piece of this puzzle, is having, it is the adults too. It's like you can't just reach out to the local t-shirt guy every time your season. You got to show them some love too, And again, I think social is just obvious. It's what we're doing right now. It's the easiest way for the positive relationships, in my opinion. So partnering with the community is the whole thing, but it's the most essential, because then it's like you don't have to do more. You've got everybody having your back, and you get it working. Everything else, falls in. And then, I was unfortunately in school district where we had many tragedies happen over a 10-year span. Opportunity to jump in and support and be a part of us and pick everybody up, and there was no hesitation whether we were dealing with of a student, loss of a staff member, tragedy, that we didn't have to pick up the phone other than when it was ringing. When you get it to that level, it feels good, and then love where you work, and you'll always work a day in your life. I feel like if I love working, why am I not going to work another day? I'm going to work every single day. So if you get it to that, it's easy to get up in the morning, and I've been blessed in the places our community piece has always fell through.
Jamie, I love that you said that. And, putting the pieces of the puzzle together to bring the community in and making sure you're connecting and creating those bridges, that's so essential for a great learning community. There's no doubt about that. Let's talk a minute about positive and inclusive school climate, what that looks like, and how to resonate that with students, staff, and really create that, I want to call it that buzz that makes you that school. So why don't you dig in a little bit about that, because I know that's at the heart of what you're all about.
Yeah, inclusivity, again, is so hard to create. Everybody you're all four of us are hearing it right now, right? Like I'm in a brand new building, but even in my, you walk in and it was like, I met the staff for the first time this week, and these guys are a little bit tougher. They're not going to like your icebreakers. They don't want to do team building, that and the other thing. Same with the students. You know, they look at me like, who's the new guy trying to high five me tomorrow morning at 8:00. It takes time. But again, you know, when I talk about, and you'll probably hear Principal Kafele talk in this matter too, when you talk about, you know, I refer to it as the lifestyle. And when we talk about the climate, I call it, so when you're talking about creating a lifestyle, you know, it's almost like, you know, when you diet, right? It'll work for 30 days, and then as soon as you drop off it, the weight lifestyle change. So being in education and saying that I'm going to put compassion, I'm going to put relationships underneath rigor, I'm going to put, you know, equity underneath the education inside the classroom, and fill up my plate, that lifestyle change. But it creates a mood that I feel is very, very infectious, celebrating the students who are completely invisible in plain sight. And that's what I really look for. And there's ways I feel like you can do that. Start going and extracurriculars that nobody expects you to go to. So if you're educating to this, don't just go to the first home football game this Friday and then call it a wrap. Show up to the chess club game. You know what I mean? Show up to, you know, the flag ensemble. Show up to the choir to be an actual event. Just pop in and show love to the students in the hall who say, we're not a part of that. All we celebrate hallway, right? The first thing you see is the Athletic Hall of Fame, right? Like you just see that, and like are from like 1940. Like what about these kids? It's like why don't we celebrate what the teachers are doing? You know, one of the things when I was at AP back home before I left, I would send out an email every Friday or text friends with outside and just tell them what I was doing with my family. You know, gymnastics, me, I'm hoping the weather holds up because I'm looking to go golfing, you know, and into my world and including them into something that had nothing to do with the belt. You see the human side of me. And little by little, you get that email back like, oh man, I love golf, I love gymnastics as well. And then they would start emailing me and telling me, hey, guess what? My daughter the Uneven Bars event last week. That was cool. And then, like, randomly, I would try to find one of those things and support the teachers the same way we can support the students too. And if you dig below that waterline with the adults in the building, a lot they do, you know, things competitively or have talent do outside of the building where, man, if you showed up to that for a grand slam in your world as a building leader, you know, like, so my principal, I always get nervous. It's like I got tattoos behind them, and can I tell you that I play music? It's always my fear. So I walk into this job, and somehow, some way, the AP that I work with found out, told the parent, and she's like, "Oh my God, I love it." She's like, "I want you to play for the welcome back. Play while they're coming in. Let's do something like that." She's like, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Let me be. You just hired me. They won't know who I am. They've never met me. They'll think I'm just a hired musician ready to start the PowerPoint. Introduce me as the new AP. Let's see, because then I'll know right away." And she was all about it. We did it. They walked in. I'm sitting here playing, you know, country. I did some TLC Waterfalls. I went all over the gamut. And then all of a sudden, she's like, "Oh, by the way, this is your new assistant principal, Jamie Brown from Jersey Shore." Like, they went nuts. And it's like, now they're all asking me, "Hey, where do you play?" And it's like, I know they're going to come see me. And it's not about only one, or now I can ask them to, chaperone an event when I need somebody, see like who I am and be a part of that, because I'm going to do the same for those guys. It's real. It's not fake, and I hope they see that already, is that I want to be their talents. I want the students to do the same. But again, kicking back to going to the things that nobody expects you to go. That is like a lot of us miss the ball because we feel like we just got to go to the big ones. So the people that, but after time, that kind of gets old, and then you start to get inclusivity. It takes time and effort, but you got to make sure that you hit again the wheel, in your building. That's also popping into the breakfast in the morning. Maybe helping serve breakfast to them, giving them a morning off. Talking to her, asking her how she's doing during the pandemic right now, all that kind of stuff. So it's just, there's no playbook you got to buy. It's just being real and being authentic and being, and if that's you, because again, just like students, adults can see right through it too. Why is this person doing this? Like, this isn't who they are, who are they trying to impress, or who's in the building, kind of thing.
Jamie, you sit down and talk about that positive culture and that inclusivity and making sure that any aspect of the school is a part of the school, ensuring they know that you're aware and you believe in them is exceptionally important. I love the statement, if nothing more out of that portion of the segment. Show up to the chess club, not just the first football game. 100%. I guarantee you, some of the chess club kids might play football, might not care, might not even know what offense or defense is. But if they see you in front of them, they know that you've got their back. And having their back is, exceptionally important. When I started out in education, one of my primary tenets was really drilled into me that relationship is primary. Talk a little bit about the importance of that, building relationships within your building. How do you go about it beyond those conversations? And how do you really capitalize on the relationships and strengthen them that you build?
For me, it's visibility. It starts with visibility. Like tomorrow is my first day, like I said, on the job. He knows me in terms of the community or the students. We had registrations. The teachers, yes, I met a lot of them thus far this week, but I have not sat down with any of them the way I would like to. So I just got to show them, to let them know. For me, it's building that trust first. Like, I can't go out and just these, tight bonds with everybody yet. I got to let them know that they made it hiring me in terms of creating a safe environment where everyone's going to be heard, where everyone's going to be seen, and absolutely everybody's going to be celebrated. So, for me, I already know, 8:15, I'm there. Bus be there at 8 o'clock. I will be outside on the buses. That's my first duty. And because if it wasn't, I'm either there or the car lane every morning. I want the parents to see me off the bus. I'm going to go up to every bus, introduce myself to every transportation, because their job is, they're the first face every morning that the kids see. The most unthankful jobs you can have in education, and every morning, and definitely on the way home, for sure. So letting them see, like, I'm genuine and wanting to get to know you, and I'll start push, but I pay attention to, what I mean? I notice I like seeing the kids who don't want me to give them a pound or give them a high. I'll keep my eye out, in the hallways and see, is that kid okay today? Is that a one day? I don't want anyone to feel like they aren't seen. And again, that's my first week in a nutshell. This last week was just staff, and introduce myself. And every single time I ask a question about, something about them. How are you doing? Okay, because sometimes you will get that honest answer of, I got to be honest with you, today's a terrible day. You get those kids who will say that. You get adults who will tell you, I just got to pick up if they're willing to open up, and then I just asked them, some t-shirt are you wearing? Do you have a band on there? Do you have a sports team on there? I know these 3 guys play on the chess team, I'll talk something about it, and kind of show that I'm interested in them. I don't really talk about myself. That's step 1 for me. You can trust me. I'm approachable. Everybody I've been telling is just come to my door. It's open. Reason. Say hello. Don't be shy. You don't have to have a conversation. Just say what's up to me. And I'm not behind a desk. Ditch the desk. Like, just do not tell the teachers. Emails can be answered at night. Phone calls can be made, but bell to bell at the very least. Like, I'm all in. I'm in the hallways, classes, and I've already told the staff it's not to do a drive-by observation. It's the great things you're doing, and I want to see you in action. I want you to show off and what you're accomplishing in that room, and do the same for the kids. So,
hey, Jamie, before you continue on, I'm just going to say, and I love the fact that you say you're maximizing your time with the kids. Make those emails later on. Make those calls later on. When kids are in the building, they deserve you. They deserve your presence. They deserve your touch. They deserve your motivation. I love that as an AP. Carry that torch, because you know what? I'm teaching my AP who's in the 2nd year right now.
Yeah.
Those connections have more value than sitting in your office and pushing paper during the day. I like to say, make sure when he comes in the morning, get in the cafeteria with the oldest kids. Make sure they see you. Make sure you're saying hi. I'll go out there and greet the parents and the buses, and I'll do all that stuff. That's my job, okay? But he needs to be in there controlling that pulse, and I'm sure that Chris and Josh would both agree with that.
I appreciate saying they're both circumstances back home. Administration that said just that. No. You need to answer these. Make sure we get to the parents and guys. So it's nice to hear that, and it is true, like hope. So you got to have your hand on the heartbeat, as I say, and especially as an A, play that middle position for the principal, and this making sure, again, that lifestyle and that mood, that temperature is where it needs to be. It's making everybody want to be there, and then that also starts too with, I think, the look of it too. Is I'm a big guy on the look of a school. I feel like when I walk in, whether I'm going to, present or whatever, meet with staff, you can almost tell, within the first 90 seconds, pride of the building, of the brand that, you're walking into. Do the teachers uphold it too, or is it, old bulletin board paper falling off, rugs with no logos, that kind of stuff, and I get, money off the funds and such, but you can still make your school look presentable. I always say it's like an open date terms, in 30 seconds, whether or not you want to buy it or not, either buying in or buying out. I think, kind of play a big role for sure in what we're
First impression,
about.
Love it.
But it takes
Josh,
and it takes time too, guys. I
it does.
know you all agree with that too. To end this part of it is be patient. You're not going to do this, and I know that. Like I is that I know what I can bring to the table for the kids, and I want to help every single one. I want to slow my roll a little bit, and just I got to crawl before I walk. It's a turtle race, and know as long as I stay the course.
Hey, Jamie, I like that. I mean, these are the common themes that we've addressed over countless sessions, and it's great to always be reminded, because you know what? There's somebody new in the call today. There's someone that's never heard this before. We've all had this conversation since the start of this disease attacking us about SEL making it a front point, a focal point to the system, not another thing, but a crucial part to ensuring that we connect with students. Yet it's not really being still promoted. It's not one of those things. It's being distributed out as another thing, not as a merging, incorporating part of your everyday practices. Why do you feel that SEL, character education, is still not fully implemented or truly absorbed across the United States?
It never had to be, right? We are a data-driven component of this profession. It's always been that. I always get nervous talking about this because I feel like someone might be listening saying, no, this guy thinks that academia and curriculum there is. But in order to move that needle, got to develop the relationships first. I will stand by that statement. And if you do not develop the relationships, I don't care how well dressed you are. I don't care what degree is on your pieces of paper. I don't care what you're wearing in front. Tattoos, no tattoos. If a student doesn't buy into, they will buy out of it. I'll tell you a quick story. When I was 20, just turning 22, Old Bridge High School, 3,500 students, third largest high school in New Jersey, seniors. They had 4 long-term subs. I came in February. We had just again, we're 20 minutes outside of New York. We just experienced 9/11. 155 seniors who've had 4 long-term subs. I am 6 months, no idea what I'm doing. I was an alternate route guy 25 years ago. I came from a private school background, so I had my chest puffed it out with this beautiful, because we were doing Shakespeare, Macbeth, and I'm a Shakespeare nerd, so I loved it. Plan of they were going to read Act 1 with 20 study guide questions, and I came in and I was my suit and tie. And here's what you're going to do. My supervisor said, come in on a Friday, you'll start on a Monday. I came in on Monday, same attitudes, same demeanor, never interested anything about me. And I just asked for the homework. I said, let me start real stern, because I said, let everyone pass your homework up. So, 3 people said, let me just play the tough guy, the tough cop. So I don't know what I said, but I'm a big burly guy. Let me yell at him. And this one kid in the back, who not so much anymore because now that I moved, but he used to come see me play all the time, and we on Facebook. He's married now with kids, and I'll just call him Jamie Furry. He stood up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is this kid gonna fight me or whatever? To me, looks at me, starts laughing hysterically, he crumples up my syllabus, walks out, and he changes schedule. And I tell that story education because it sticks with me, because it was the very first day of my teaching career, the day I ever took that demeanor in education, because I had to be that guy, and that's how I was going to get the results. Maybe it was a blessing in disguise, because ever since that day, I went back to my supervisor, but he had the conversation with me, and he was a big SEL guy before I knew what SEL was. And says, they don't know you. You're their age. You know what I mean? You're nobody to them. They got to believe that you can, do something for their lives, because they got. So I truly believe that in order, the reason it's not valued it, and now I think there's that panic button that we've hit it a few times, but now it's really like, all right, now we got to do it. And Dr. Strong calls it confetti kindness. You got the bulletin board paper, the Monday meetings, they all work. It is not to minimize them, but I feel that there's out there in terms of conversation, there's not enough out there in terms of people who want to come to schools and help, staff do it and deliver it. If we have time, if we have extra funds, it's seen as like secondary, because if I schools and you're non-believers, the answer to me is you're not moving test scores. You're not improving grades. True, but that's how it's seen. So it's the same as the conversation we're talking about. It's buy-in, and it's going to take some time, but I think, unfortunately, it doesn't get worse. I think now that we're seeing teacher shortages more and more, and a lot of that has to do with I didn't sign up for all the time. Veteran teachers leaving because they're not used to this part of develop relationships. It's kind of mandatory now, or no one's caring about. And if I'm a brand new teacher, it's, can I do that? Like, I'm not a counselor. You get those arguments, and again, they're fair and they're valid because we're not putting this. And I think if it can become universal language, not only will it go away, because I feel like a new educator in the space would be like, oh my gosh, be in an incredible career where I get to meet people and know people, and we make change the way we've always said we've done it in education 20 years ago. How to become more common thread, but for the powers that be that get to make, you need tragedy to happen. You need things to get worse before someone finally says, all right, enough's enough now. And I think that's why SEL has become a conversation piece. And a lot of schools, like you said, you plan. They throw it in there, they do a PD the first week, and then that's kind of it. Things. One, they're like, oh, well, I need time to get through the 180 days curriculum. And then I also think the bigger piece of it is the fear of all in. What are we going to find? And I think that's what no one's taught. Truly all in. And you embrace SEL the way it's meant to bring to the table. You are going to find children and adults in your building who are struggling mightily with, we'll call it all mental health, but struggling and need support book. And can we provide that and still get the academic results?
I'm glad you said that, Jamie, because you think about it. We're all human beings. And as a human being, basic instinct is we want to be heard, we want to be connected with, and we want to make sure that we're valued. And if we're valued in any capacity, guess what? Work production seems to get a little bit higher. So you're right on with all you're saying. Coming out of post-COVID, trying to just hit SEL as a trigger point. You want to know something? Disguise it and hide it. Build the relationships that matter. Support the people as they need to be supported. And guess what happens? Your SEL becomes a natural element and it rises to the top, man. I love it. This stuff just makes me smile because you got all the pieces of the puzzle together. And I can see it in your delivery and your voice. You got it, man. You're just starting off and you're just starting to gain that momentum. And we really appreciate your whole spiel here tonight, man, because this is really what it's all about. It's all about it's relationships before content. And whether you're in first grade or in 12th grade, it doesn't matter. Make sure you know those kids. Make sure you know the people that you're trying to sell your goods to. No store will ever stay open if you don't make that menu and you make that variety available for kids and consumers. That's the business we're in. It's not rocket science, man. I love it. Good stuff. Josh, Chris, what else? Anything else?
You know what, Jamie, you really brought it home when you focused on that individualized connection, the importance of maintaining that, being authentic and being real, and really identifying that. I guess I'd call it and refer to it as what I've heard in the past as the hidden curriculum, right? What is it that we really want to teach in our schools? It's not always about the standards. It's about teaching relatability, making connections, being able to overcome adversity, being able to move forward as an individual. And, all the elements that you shared with us tonight just shows, kind of your holistic perspective on what education is all about. It was quite refreshing and certainly a great Sunday night conversation.
Yeah.
Hey, Jamie, just in closing off, can you please let us know if someone wants to get in touch with you and soon your book will be coming out? Please let us know where to get a hold of you.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Leadership.com has all my social links. On Twitter, it's right here on the board, JB. But LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Leadership, at Jamie Brown Leadership. And I'd love to have a conversation with anyone more, looking for resources, looking to have conversations about how to help their building, their community, whatever you need. If it's on these topics, I'm all in. I feel like if it's taken to the forefront, district leadership will realize if you put this stuff
first, man, you will have more curriculum than you've ever had before.
As a multi-year
appreciate
veteran, just
You all.
keep being you, man. Just keep being you with that flame. Don't worry. The rest of it will take care of itself. You're a people first person. And I'll tell you,
I
when you
really
do that,
appreciate that.
you're rocking it. You're rocking it. All right. Take
Thank
us home,
you.
Chris.
Thank
You got it.
Yeah, Jamie, you brought some fire tonight, man. Like Dean said, you are a people first person. Just keep going with who you are, be true to your values, and just let others understand why it's so important to emulate you and let them figure it out on their own. But you model great, great values. Hey, on behalf of Dean, Josh, and myself, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Those of you now Unlock the Middle Land, tune back in about 14 minutes. We got another educator coming in, just like Jamie, except from Massachusetts and from the science classroom. We've got Bonnie Nieves coming up live to talk a little bit about her book and how to make ourselves better by thinking a little bit differently about student-centered learning. Hey, everybody out there, be well. Just keep on chugging and work hard, hard, hard to be better every single day.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.